All right, good morning, everybody. It's February 5th, 2021, and this is your video debrief. And this is the first one I'm going to put on the web tonight. And so we're going to start calling these bone-in chicken wing solves logic grid, whatever number it is. Okay, so this will be logic bone-in chicken wing solves logic grid number 3 on February 5th, 2021. All right, for your work, though, that you have to get done on your asynchronous day, it's all under the week of February 1st. Okay, so that was Monday. And today's the 5th, so this is still that same week. If you get all of these things turned in, you can feel confident that you're on a strong level of maintenance there as far as like maintaining the grade that you want. When your parents are looking at the progress reports that'll be released next Wednesday, okay, or this Wednesday, I should say. Excuse me. So, what is that? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's February 10th. Okay, that will be released. All right. So, anyways, let's get into the logic grid this week, and let's go ahead and talk about the thinking that goes behind that. And we'll just get right to it. Okay. And I see that I'm going to have to actually move my camera up a little bit. So let me just do that so I can actually get to the things that I need to get to. There we go. We'll do it up there. That makes more sense. All right, then. So number 3, the zoo. Every year, the Tucker family visits the local zoo. Each family has a favorite exhibit, and each person has a new souvenir during each visit. From the clues, can you figure out which animals and souvenirs are favored by which family members? Well, you bet you can, using deductive reasoning. All right, so getting down into it, we want to just make sure we understand what information is going to be placed where, right? So that's the first thing I look at. I'm going to go ahead and switch to my shapes because that's what I'm going to be using first. Timothy, Tanya, Tony, and Tyler, those are the people in the Tucker family. These are the animals or the exhibits that they will favor, and then these are the souvenirs that they'll be buying. Okay, so if it's a clue that gives you which person likes which animal, it'll be in this box. If it's which person likes is getting which souvenir, it's going to be in this grid over here on the right. And if it's like which animal is matched to which souvenir, then it's going to be in the bottom grid here. All right, so let's get going. Timothy is scared of tigers and bears in real life, but that doesn't stop him from buying a stuffed animal at every zoo visit. Okay, well, if Timothy is scared of tigers and bears in real life, it doesn't make sense that that would be his favorite things to visit because, you don't want to go and visit the things that, traumatize you. So we will go ahead and take out tigers and bears for Timothy. But he does buy a stuffed animal at every zoo visit. So one of those kids that likes to get the plushies every time they go in, we'll give them the stuffed animal right here. Now, remember, when we have a valid or a truth or something that, we can verify, that means it can only happen once in that column or that row. So if Timothy buys the stuffed animal every time, then Tanya doesn't buy the stuffed animal, and neither does Tony, and neither does Tyler. Okay. And then that means that if Timothy buys a stuffed animal, he does not buy the hat, he does not buy the poster, and he does not buy the sticker book. And just keep in mind, when you have this big row, with two of them together, it's only the one that's inside of the grid. There was a little bit of confusion that on the first grid, but I think we all got past that misconception. I think we all get now that it's within that individual grid. All right, on to clue number 2. Tony did not buy a poster. Not much that tells us about that, right? And so we're just going to go ahead and take out poster. And that clue is done. So now on to clue 3. The person who likes the bears did not buy a sticker book. The person who bought the hat is not Tony. Okay, so if the person who likes bears didn't buy the sticker book, we have to go into this column right here. We go bears and we go all the way down to the bottom grid and we take out sticker book. Okay, so that didn't happen. And then we also know the person who bought the hat is not Tony. So that means we go to Tony and we take away hat. And now look what happens though when we do that. Tony, we know, didn't buy a hat, poster, or stuffed animal, so it had to be the sticker book. So we can go in there now and we can affirm that the sticker book is Tony's. And then we'll just erase the rest of that or cross out the rest of that column there. All right, now we're starting to get closer to some clues there, okay? But there's one other thing that we can do here before we move on to clue 3. Because, and I don't know if people catch this one or not, but if the person who doesn't like bears did not buy the sticker book, right? Well, we know that Tony bought the sticker book, so that means he could not, bears is not his favorite animal. So we can also take that out before we're done. And that's a key one that people might overlook. So just keep an eye on that. All right, now number 4 tells us in a validation and affirmation. Tanya loves the giraffes, but did not buy a hat. So that's really going to be some good information because when we do the giraffes, we're going to be able to cross out that row and column. And so we'll take all of that out. And this is the last clue. And, we're not quite done with the puzzle, but it gives us some good information that's going to help us with the next couple things. Because we also know that she did not buy a hat. So lo and behold, if she didn't buy the hat, the only thing she could have bought was the poster. So we'll take that out. And then we'll take that column out. And then that leaves the only thing that is open is the hat, which has to be Tyler. So we'll go ahead and put Tyler as the hat. Now, if in the other grid, when we eliminated the rest of the column, when we found out that Tanya loved giraffes, well, look, that shows that Timothy loves llamas. So we'll go ahead and do that, and we'll take out the rest of that column. And this is why it's important to remember to take out the rest of the column and the rest of that row when you're doing something, because otherwise you don't see things like the fact that Tony loves tigers. Now, I know a few of you just went by the cereal. A few of you that were in person this week, well, it's Tony. Of course, it's the tigers. And, I was like, well, that's not exactly how the logic puzzle works. It just happened to be the case this time, okay? And so that means we eliminate the rest of that row, which means Tyler is the one who loves bears. And now we have our top two grids complete and kind of a lot of blank in the bottom one. But here's the deal. If you got the top two complete, the bottom one's easy now because everything that matches across going this way, and let's see if I can do it. Yeah, everything that matches across going this way has to match going the other way too. So it's like this. If hat matches bears here, then bears has to match hat over here. Oops, let me turn that into the right color. I thought this was going to be the one I didn't do that on. Man, that was so close, guys and girls. Anyways, going back in. So anyways, once again, if hat matches bears here, then bears have to match hat over here. If sticker book matches tigers over here, then tigers has to match sticker book over here. If poster matches giraffes here, then giraffes has to match poster over here. And finally, if stuffed animal matches llamas over here, then llamas has to match stuffed animal over here. And now we just fill in the rest of that grid with red squares, or red triangles in this case. And we are ready to solve the puzzle. So remember, this is not solving the puzzle. This is just eliminating all of the non-truths and validating the truths. Now, to solve the puzzle, you have to actually put the solutions in the box. So we click text box, and now all we have to do is just kind of follow our information over here, right? So we go ahead and click text here, and we type in Timothy. And I'm just going to go ahead and do all the people at once while I'm here because that just makes it easy. And I didn't switch to black ink, but that's okay because it's legible. It doesn't have to necessarily be black. It could be any color you want. And some of you actually have fun with changing the deltas into different colors, and I think that's cool too. It actually kind of changes it up for me and makes it a little less boring too, so I don't mind you doing that. As long as I can tell what you're doing is the main thing. All right, so going into animals. Timothy likes the llamas, right? So we just put llama, and I'm just going to go ahead and put a souvenir while I'm here too and just do it in this order. And I like kind of like taking care of going across. And we know that it's the stuffed animal. For Tanya, we know she loves giraffes. And that her stuff, or her souvenir, excuse me, is the poster. We know that Tony likes the tigers because they're great. You're welcome. Yes, I just did that for you. That's your Easter egg for the day. And then going over to souvenir, it's the sticker book. And finally, we go to Tyler, and he likes bears, and his souvenir is a hat, which is what I usually get when I go to those places too. All right, so there we go. Here's the solution. Let me pause it for a second so you can check your grid and check your solutions. And, you can hit pause on your own. You have to kind of hit pause on your own in order to see it. So I'm going to hit pause on mine to indicate that that's where you should pause. Okay, and so check your work. Make sure you got the right solutions and that your grid marks are in the right place. You have to have it looking like this for all four. One thing I want to talk about, I said you do what you want as long as I can understand it. Some of you put like numbers like in the grids here. I'd rather you type it out because it's faster for me so I don't have to research it more. And that way, you ensure that I'm actually understanding what you put there if you're actually doing it with the actual word rather than the number of where it is in the grid. It's just easier for me, and I won't make a mistake and give you a lower grade by accident that way. All right, gang, enjoy your weekend, and we'll see cohort B when we are in hybrid next week, and everybody else in remote land. Have a good day.